What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Opinions from Offside. It has been a long old week for me. Feeling all right, excuse my voice, I'm a little bit tired out and got work later on, but looking forward to getting into some football chat. How are you? Joined again, as always, by Kanye. What's going on, brother?
All good, mate, all good. I am struggling to get warm back in the UK. I don't know how people do it, but trip to Paramount tomorrow, get some fluffy socks, get some warmer clothes, and just get warmed up, mate.
Complaining about your cold feet, your icicle feet, ain't you?
Yeah, mate, I just can't get my feet warm. These Tenerife socks are just not doing it for me.
Have you played any football since you've been back? I know that you had a match lined up and it got called off.
Yeah, I got called off. I'm hoping to try. I'm going to go watch a game tomorrow once I've done a bit of wallpapering or help my mate put the carpet down, and then hopefully have a game on Sunday.
Nice. Was this a team you used to play for, or a mate's team, or what?
It's my cousin's team. So he's given it the big I am, like he's the best footballer in our family, and I was like, "You're not, mate. You're not even." Yeah, mate. I'm not the best in our family, and I'm good. Like, so that says it all. And he, bless him, Linford. He thinks he's good. He's supposed to be good, but yeah, the levels he's talking about, not the levels we're talking about.
Is he younger than you?
Yeah, he's younger than me. Yeah, so yeah, got it.
What about your other brother, who is the best in the family? Does he ever play anymore for fun?
No, he's had both his hips replaced now. He had the arthritis thing, so he had to have both his hips replaced. So his football career is definitely done.
Damn. Well, hopefully you can fly the flag for your family and let them know what it is. Right, listen, as much as I don't want to talk about it, credit to you, hats off. I'm not exactly surprised. I thought about having a banner, Anfield Annihilation. It didn't seem to fit in. So we're going for the first subject today. I'd like to wish you, if you want to read that out.
What? Anfield Annihilation?
No,
Annihilation?
Analization is what
Annihilation, is it?
Anfield Annihilation, because we got butt fucked by your team, Liverpool. And, go on.
First 70 minutes, you didn't. 70 minutes, it was an even game. Like, it was, you scored first. Mix up at the corner, not even a mix up really. It was just unlucky. Like, the ball fell to us. Alvarez in the middle. We tried to clear it, took a deflection, went in. Like, that was it. And then Jota's got a great goal, great header. Chiesa's assist. And then
your second goal was offside, wasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah. Gakpo was offside, wasn't it? Yeah, I think Gakpo was offside. Or was that the equaliser? It might have been the equaliser. Yeah, that was the equaliser because he crossed it to Chiesa. Chiesa tried the scissor kick and Jota got in front of the keeper. But even with that though, if with that sort of situation, I'd expect my keepers to come and do better there though. Like
in Fabianski.
Yeah, like if you're coming out for it, take ball and man, take everyone out.
Well, we said in the preview of it, didn't we, that Fabianski's not the type that comes off his line, and if he does, he doesn't command his box. And that's why when we spoke about I forget, we do so many, but we spoke about in one of the episodes, it might even have been on the Hammers chat one, like about having a high line. He's not going to come out and be clearing things up. He's not going to come out and sweep up. He's not going to come out and dip the balls over the top. He's rooted to his line, and when he does come out, he's Flappy Hansky, isn't he? So, yeah, he doesn't.
Flappy Hansky.
I mean, hands up, like just for the viewers or listeners, I didn't see any of the game. I've watched the extended highlights. The best highlights I could see were on a Liverpool site, so it was very Liverpool centric, which you can understand. So I didn't even see, but apparently we had a penalty shot. I've not seen any. Really? I've not seen any of the game, and I didn't even see that. So what happened with those?
To be fair, the first one to shout was on Joe Gomez. It sort of come out to him, like I can't remember who it was in midfield. He sort of took a shot, half a shot, and it's hit him like sort of side of his chest, side of his stomach, arm area. Now, it looked a penalty purely on his arm moved back and his face. His face said, shit, like one of them. Right. But it's not a penalty. If his hands has to be in natural position, his hands are in a natural position. It's at the side of his body. Like, you can't take your arms off you. So I think if that would have been given, I think it's harsh. Very, very harsh to be given. The second one was against Tsimikas, and I thought that was more of a pen based on the rules. I don't think it is a pen because if you're out wide to cross and you're defending and he goes to cross it, you put your foot there to block it, and naturally your hand goes a little bit like out to balance yourself.
I've not seen any of it. What happened?
Yeah, so it's come out to Bowen on the right. He's gone to clip a crossing right on the corner of the 18-yard box and the goal line. Tsimikas has put his foot there to block it, and it's hit him sort of like same sort of spot, stomach clipping the elbow, but his arm's a little bit further away than the first one. But again, I still don't think it's a penalty because that's a natural position for your hand to be. If you're trying to block, your hand naturally does that to balance yourself. People don't do that to make themselves bigger. It's not an unnatural position. It would have been very harsh to give. And to be fair, I remember messaging you. That sort of was the catalyst for Paqueta to lose his head. Like, I'm very surprised he didn't get a red because he'd not long been booked. The way he was screaming at the ref, could have been booked. Bowen calming down and then spoke to the ref, and then Paqueta flew into a tackle on Endo, and I thought it was a second yellow, but the referees gave the foul as if Salah had pushed him in the back, and Salah didn't touch him. So he was very lucky not to get a red, and this was just after Alvarez's red, which was stupid as well. Stupid.
Yeah, what did you make of that? So that was a second yellow. I think that Cresswell should have wiped out Salah, and that would have stopped that. He should have took one for the team because he was running down the wing. Cresswell, Paqueta went to go in because he was on his yellow. He pulled out of that one, and maybe because that was just before, and then I believe Cresswell had the opportunity to take him out. It was really his man. Then Paqueta came over and pulled out of it. And then Alvarez was just silly on a yellow. He was nowhere near the ball, made no attempt for the ball, and basically slid and stamped him on the foot, didn't he? So that's him banned for Saturday, which we'll talk about in a bit. But what did you make of that?
Silly. Just, you know what? I understand. The thing is, though, we spoke about this when we did a little review about Alvarez's lack of pace. And if you get caught out wide, you're going to get exposed there. You know what you're going to do? Just run the channel. Do the odd graft. Push him down the line. You know Salah's going to chop back at some point. We know this. He's left-footed, right winger. He's going to chop back in. If he whips in a right-footed cross, fair play. But it's unnecessary. A red card kills the game. That's it. And you're missing. Yeah, and you're missing what everyone was talking about. I mean, surely if all the West Ham fans are saying, is it more important to look at Saturday's game than this game? You must know that as a player. Like, don't do anything stupid. Don't get a second yellow, unnecessary second yellow. With the game at, I don't know if it was 2 or 3-1. I think it was 3-1 at the time, and it was just unnecessary. And I think the thing that, just go back to the penalty incident. But the thing that wound West Ham players up was the penalty shout. I'm pretty sure it was like a minute later Liverpool scored, and I think that's what wound them up. But then again, no VAR. That's another thing that baffles me. If you have the technology at the stadiums, why are you not using it? If it's that good, why are you not using it?
Yeah, there's two schools of thought on that, and there's if it's two Premier League teams and you use it in the Premier League, then like you say, why not use the technology that's available? But the other side of things, if in the next rounds, which they're not, because you've drawn Brighton, haven't you?
Yes, you've got Brighton away, yeah.
So, but in further rounds, if you then end up with someone in a Championship or below, it's not available to them. Should you be muddying the waters in the same competition? Surely you've got to have a finite, we use it or we don't in this competition. Do you know what I mean? I can see the other point.
But if it's there, why not? If you have everything in place and you paid for it to get it all installed and all there, you must be mad not to use it. Let's use it.
But it won't be there if you get drawn against Bristol Rovers away, will it?
That's fine. We understand that. So it baffles me to take it away for everything. When this technology was supposed to clear up these incidents, it was supposed to clear up all this. So the fact that you've chosen not to use it in a situation where you can, that's madness.
But then is it a level playing field if a team goes through on a last-minute penalty because they had the benefit of VAR calling it back and awarding it, and then a team on the other side of the draw miss out on a last-minute penalty because they haven't got that technology available? Isn't it skewed? Shouldn't you just keep it consistent across the competition? Is
that any different to being drawn home or away?
Well, yeah, because it's the use of technology retrospectively and calling something back and correcting a mistake. Whereas if you are a Championship team and you've gone out on a clear mistake, but there was no VAR to pull up that clear and obvious error, you'd feel like the Premier League teams are getting more of an advantage because they've had a reprieve. They've had the benefit of it being reviewed, and you haven't, just because you haven't got VAR because you're in a different league.
But what if the thing is though, that could also work flip side. What if it comes against you or for you because you're playing at a Premier League's ground? I think to me, I look at it the same as one of those benefits if a home or away draw. If you get draw in the Premiership club, at the Premiership ground, you're going to get a slice of the revenue winning. And if you have the opportunity to use VAR, you get little off the ball things are not going to happen. If you are drawn away, say, who's left in there, Preston, you're going to go to Deepdale. There's no VAR. You're going to have the Preston fans close to the pitch. You're going to have more of their fans there. To me, it's one of those things that's an advantage for where you are. It's the same as like they've seeded draws. If you're going to seed the draw, why are you going to take this out? You can make it so that, like we spoke about last time, that the reason why they can't play each other because some are in Europa League, some are in Champions League. They play through the week now. But that's not, to me, that's the same thing. Like if you have the technology to use, it's like saying, tell you what then, if you're playing Preston, right, and we can't afford the good footballs, so we'll just use these shitty ones. Like that's how I look at it. It's different pitches, different styles. Like Preston's pitch will not be the same as Anfield. Anfield's pitch will not be the same as Old Trafford and places like that. It's all one of those. If you drawn it, it's the benefit of the home draw. If you get the Premiership team, you get VAR. It doesn't cost any more. It's already in place. It's not the installation fee or anything like that. Let's get it in there. Oh, maybe you know what you could do? Use it like they use it in the Champions League or the Euros. Use it differently to the Premier League. Use it a bit more street. Well, this is the place to try stuff that people are talking about, like having a review system. Right, we're going to do next year in the League Cup. You get 3 reviews. We have cameras at every game. You're telling me you can't use the cameras? Every game's recorded.
Your captain gets 3 challenges,
or
something. And if you're right and you're vindicated, then you keep that challenge.
You get your challenge back, yeah. Why not? Everywhere, every football game, because we all watch our highlights, every football game will have cameras there. You're telling me that they can't instantly access those cameras with the technology today? Grow up.
Well, yeah, it's great points. Two points on Devil's Avocado, though. I'm going to play Devil's Avocado card. 2 things.
I like the way that slices me right down the middle, by the way.
A slicing avocado. That's why I lean to the side. Look, when it comes in, I like lean to the side like that. Look, so you can still see me. I don't know if that's a good thing. There's two things on that point, I think. The first one, I think your point that the same goes for you might get a decision go for you. By the same token, you might get a decision go against you. Really, for me, is more of a point as to keep it a level playing field then and keep that out of the competition. That's the first point. Second of all, we did a video that we called Scrap VAR, it's ruining the game. Because they've got the technology, but they've not refined it and it's not right. So do you really want to bring further technology in? We did say in that last episode, it's working well in rugby, it's working in cricket for the LBWs, it's working well in tennis and Hawkeye, but there's no way the Premier League have got it right yet. Even when you look at VAR and technology in other countries, they seem to have more of an idea than we do. And now you're saying that it's not working out right. It's muddying the waters, but let's bring in more technology and fuck it up even more. Shouldn't you just go back to human error so that when a goal is scored, you can actually jump up off your seat and celebrate that goal rather than players looking around as soon as they're scored and fans waiting to see if it's going to be a VAR check. And then sometimes it's up to 5 minutes. And then by then it's, hey.
Yeah, like, it's half-hearted celebrations.
It's killing the passion. Is there an argument for just going back to, the game is human error. A goalkeeper can drop the ball, a defender can turn it in his own net, and a referee and a linesman can miss the decision. It all moves quickly. Yes, we have the technology to implement these things, but we've tried to do that, and it's still down to human error because you've got people in Stockley Park drawing lines on the screen, giving their own interpretation of it. Or is it just the game's about human error? Let's just go back, and if you're doing it with honesty and good faith, is it more real and raw to just go with what you're seeing at the time?
Well, to me, that's the best argument for the challenges. If you get 3 challenges, that to me makes perfect sense. If I know, right, you are offside on that line, the linesman's not called it, we challenge that. I can understand it. If an incident has happened off the ball, I mean, I would not. So I don't know if you've seen any of the Man City Arsenal game from the halftime kickoff. Ball kicked off, the ball went back, and Rodri has purposely stepped his way into Havertz to block him from getting the ball from the goalkeeper so he can tip it up forward. Havertz has just ran into him, and all you heard the commentator saying, "Oh, I seen his arms raised. That could be an elbow. Could have been an elbow." What if the referee had seen that as a an elbow, or the linesman had flagged it as an elbow, when really Rodri put himself in that position to block him, and Havertz's arms were nowhere near him. That red card without VAR could have ruined the game. I know Arsenal did get a player sent off and did that their own thing, but that to me goes where the challenges are. If you have the challenges, you can challenge the incident based on what you see, or as a captain or as a manager, and it just clears up little things like that. You don't want people doing like one of the things that people complain about with Arsenal is these dark arts of time wasting and all this shit. It's part of the game. It's not a pretty part of the game, but then the last thing you want is like something off the ball happening the player gets away with. Like, I've had players try and stamp on my toes before to try and injure me to stop me from playing. And you don't want someone getting away with that. Like, you're going to get a reward because you've done something off the ball, because you know the linesman's on the opposite side. The ball's over there, so you're going to try and stamp on my foot. Like, and little things like that. These are things that you don't get to see unless you're actually watching a game. Maybe it's the level that I've watched or played at, and we're all ruffians down there, but I'd hate for something like that to mar a game when you've got a footballer injured because of something stupid that a defender's done to even the playing field because he can't keep up with Salah.
Yeah, no, you're right, and they're logical arguments, and I can see it. But then I would put back to you, just for the sake of conversation, if your challenges are still going to Stockley Park and the interpretation of a human being, you're still leaving it in the hands. It's not automated. If you were saying 3 challenges, and it's automated technology, AI or something, that has 100% or a 99.9% of being right, then I could understand those challenges, like Hawkeye. But when you're coming back to people in Stockley Park, I mean, I remember a couple of seasons ago playing at Anfield, and you might even remember the game. We lost the game on a goal. James Milner was about 3 yards outside. Offside over on the right hand side. The ball was played to him, and he was like, I mean, the distance, it was about 3 to 5 yards. He crossed it, and VAR missed it. You know, and I'll try and pull it up for you to show you if you don't remember the incident. And all the time, almost every weekend, it goes to VAR and there's wrong decisions made, or it goes to VAR and they're talking about all over the weekend on Sky Sports on and talks about it. Because even with VAR, they've still got it wrong. There's lines on the screen. They've had instances where they've drawn the lines in the wrong place. Do you know what I mean? Like, even with those challenges, if you're still relying on human beings in Stockley Park, your challenges don't guarantee the right outcome if you still got a human being giving his interpretation of what's happened. You and I could both watch that shout against Chelsea, the Somerville penalty. You and I could both watch that, and as it turns out, we both agreed. But if we're in Stockley Park and a captain makes the challenge, you might see it as, oh yeah, there's not enough contact for him to go down there. And there's me who might see it as a foul's a foul, whether it's fleeting or otherwise. Yeah. You know, so we still might disagree as human beings. So what you're still going to end up with the same outcome, surely.
Yeah, how I would do it though, I wouldn't put the responsibility on the guy in Stockley Park. Stockley Park, you're there for technology to show the referee. We have a match official. It's the referee's decision. That to me.
You know they don't make them.
But then if they know, right, it's not VAR anymore, you're going to be a set of challenges. We are going to show you, and we're going to show everyone on the big screen, like they do in rugby. Because they'll have the TMO, the television match official in rugby, right? Television match official will give them their opinion based on what they see. But the referee will watch it on the giant screen as well, with all the players and all the fans, so they know what's going on. It's clear. And sometimes the referee will go, PMO, I've seen what I need to see. I'm happy with my original decision. Thank you very much. It'll interrupt him. Go, right, I'm happy with what I've seen. I'm happy with this. Or, you know what, I'm happy with what I've seen. Reverse the decision. I'm going to change it back. That's how it is. The referee takes control of the game. That's how ours should be.
It's still down to one man's interpretation.
No, because he's not going to make the decision. So how I would look at it is the television.
He is though, but you're just saying give him the benefit of seeing it again with the technology. I'm saying that's still down to human error or human perception. If you're going to implement the technology, take it out of human beings' hands, like Hawkeye. Like there's no umpire going, was that on the line or not? The computer says that's where the ball would have landed. That
would mean then we'd need AI match officials. The referees and linesmen would be gone.
Well, yeah, but I don't agree with that either. So that's what I'm saying. Are we better off going? Because it's still down to, I mean, if you've got someone like Mike Dean, who was notorious for making about himself and making controversial decisions so that he was the star of the show.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter if you've got the benefit of seeing it back again. he's still going to make it about him.
But maybe we're looking at the wrong situation. That maybe he shouldn't have been a referee. You get what I mean?
Maybe.
So I'm saying the VAR should be a tool for the referee to use, not the match official. So he should be able to, given the opportunity, ref, I want to review that decision. Right, okay, let's have a look. You all look at it on the big screen, or if you want a close look, you can have a look at the mini monitor, but show everyone what he's seeing so everyone can see the same thing. He would then, all you're doing is not telling him you're wrong, saying, look at it from this way, you still make the decision. It's always down to that one match official. Some referees will let the game play. There's some referees that will try and, especially in certain derbies, they'll try not to brandish cards earlier because then they set a rod for the back. If that's a foul, then that's got to be a foul. If that's a yellow, that's got to be a yellow. That's where we should.
You can't let too much go because then you're giving open house for people to foul.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe that's where we need to put more effort into our referees. I don't understand why we don't have a fast track system for ex-players to become referees. I can understand why ex-players don't become referees. It takes you 10 years. Minimum.
Well, and with the money they're paid today, there's no financial incentive for them to do it. And then thirdly, people are going to have their own biases towards certain teams. So imagine if Jamie Carragher's referee in a Man United game. So that won't work.
But they do that now. You don't referee a team that is, I think it's something like local to you or a rival of your team or your team. They ask you who you support from the start.
Yeah, but we've been through it the other day when we asked Tezza questions, and we've asked you. You might have a particular dislike to a team that's not a rival to your team, or you might not like a player on that team, or you might not like a manager who's managed them. I've definitely got biases towards teams or problems.
I know you're a big fan of Harry Kane.
Yeah, your mum. And and I've got a soft spot for some teams that have nothing to do with me as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it without making people robots, which I don't want to be like. They're all good points, they're interesting points. Let us know in the comments below what you think about it. What is the way forward? Next subject, whilst we're talking about West Ham. Next subject, Flopetegui. Well, let's ask your take. You've been on ripping up on a few West Ham channels recently. You know what the fans think. That's 7 games, including the cup, 4 losses, 3 heavy defeats.
Yeah.
No identity at the moment. No patterns of play. Players. What did you make of it? What's going on?
That's the worrying thing. The worrying thing to me is I can understand you losing. You've had a couple of decent teams that you've been playing against. The thing with me is you're playing against teams where you've also been given a chance to play, and there's no sort of right. I see where we're going. Like if you watched when Pochettino took over Chelsea, they were a shambles, but you could see what he was trying to do. When Ten Hag, well, let's not go Ten Hag because he's the same. Well, so you know what? Let's go Ten Hag. I can go Ten Hag because I can see what he's trying to do. Get the ball to Bruno. That is basically Ten Hag's tactic. But then you look at other people. You've got Slot, you can see what he's trying to do at Liverpool already. Gary O'Neill, when he took over Wolves, you instantly, within that first game, seen what he was trying to do. I was so surprised that when there was talk about looking at a manager, I'm surprised that he weren't talked about for West Ham. Very surprised. Was it?
Yeah, he was talked about. The thing is, I don't mind. The results aren't that important. On the grand scheme of things, the games we've had. Man City, not expected to win that. Aston Villa, not expected to win that. We weren't the better team against Palace, but somehow came away with a 2-0 win. We got played off the park by Fulham, come away with a late equaliser, 1-1. In the Cup, Bournemouth, we weren't the better team against Bournemouth and scraped through with a handball goal. And then, obviously, Liverpool, I'm forgetting one as well. I don't know who I'm forgetting.
Chelsea.
Chelsea. So we played Chelsea, Villa, Man City. They're Champions League teams, right? And we're in a trend. I've got no problem with the results, right? I've got no problem. It's early days. It's just exactly that. I'm seeing no sign of what his preferred 11 is. What is his identity? What is he trying to play? The players that lost like strangers. He's kicking off on the sideline. And I like to see passion, right? This is not passion. This is him whinging about everything to the point where he walked into press conference yesterday in crutches because he's injured his calf, having a shit fit on the line, stamping and kicking things. Come on now. Like, you're making and the referee's never going to go, all right, because you're moaning, let's give a few decisions to West Ham. If anything, he's going to think you're nauseating and annoying and disruptive. You know what I mean? He ended up with a yellow card the other day. I'm worried about it. I'm worried about it, and I don't think he's. There's a lot of talk. There's talk today of bringing Moyes back for a third stint, which would be ridiculous because people seem to have forgot it wasn't just because there's this narrative on TalkSport, right? Oh, the West Ham fans, he's most successful man. Okay, if they forgot, we've got a history, right? And we won trophies before Moyes was there. Like, the world doesn't start because David Moyes won a third-rate European trophy that was invented for teams like us that can't get it. It's true. Like, it was one of the greatest footballing nights of my life, and I love it, and I wouldn't take it away. But come on, we had the £500 million squad. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 times any other team. We didn't even play a competitive team until Fiorentina in the final. We should have won that. We should have won that competition, and hats off to him, we did. But we had a 35-game relegation battle in the league that year. Yeah. Last year, we got thumped from Fulham 5-0, Arsenal 6-0. Can't even be bothered to list them. We got our arse handed to us on about 10 occasions. Not just the style of play. He didn't bring the youth through. We lost a lot of real potential good youth players because he wouldn't play them. If he didn't like you, he throws you out the team and didn't even speak to you. There's reports from Alex Krul, the Czech player. He came on loan, and David Moyes wouldn't even talk to him. He went to him and said, Gaffer, look, what do I need to do? I want to play. What do I need to improve on? What's your system? Blah, 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 blah. He refused to talk to him. Krul actually admitted he'd come out of training, and it was translated something like, I would have to go back to the car to let out my frustration and sit and scream and cry in the car because he was trapped there and was getting absolutely nothing. He was rubbing people up the wrong way. He was turning against the fans. When the fans didn't agree with a substitution, he came out and said, we've got a lot of so-called experts in here today. Mate, we pay our money to come and have an opinion. There's loads more wrong with just his style of play. I'm not seeing anything that far removed from Moyes with Lopetegui at the moment. And I've been banging this drum all the way through, and people calling me negative. I'm not sure these transfers are all they were cracked up to be because I'm not sure we've got a cohesive transfer policy. What it is, it's not like West Ham to sign 9 players, so that's exciting because there's 9 new transfers. Right, let's go through them. Where's Foderingham? League One Wes. We've actually got Finn Herrick, the under-18s, England under-18s goalkeeper, who's one of the biggest prospects at that age group coming through the ranks. Put him as number 3. You're not going to get a game. You're not going to get a game. Stick him on the bench and let him get a match day experience. It's very unlikely Areola and Fabianski are going to be injured, right? Guilherme, 25 million Brazilian 18-year-old wonder kid, can't even make the match day squad. Hasn't been sent out on loan and can't even get in the under-21s team, right? 25 million on him. Fulkrug, he's slower than me. I would outrun him. So he's injured at the minute, but he's not scored a single goal, and he's still behind Antonio and Danny Ings in the pecking order. So Debo, give us your view on him now. You've seen him for 90 minutes.
Absolutely, still pish. Yeah, the last 2 goals were his fault. Like I don't understand a 6'2" centre back turning his back from a shot from 20 yards out. Yeah, like it's not that the ball was not next to him. The ball was 10 yards away from him, and he's basically because he's turned his back and dropped his knee. He's hit his leg and gone in the other side, got into the corner of the net. What are you doing? Listen, if he keeps facing that ball, that last goal doesn't go in. If he's in the right position, the 4th goal doesn't go in. So if you were sitting there speaking about a 3-1 where the last 10 minutes West Ham threw everything at it, you'd be like, you know what? It weren't the result we wanted to. We were expecting to get feet. We had made a couple of changes, but the last 10, we had a go. But the last 10, well, we conceded 2 more from Gakpo. Like it's a different attitude then, and I think that's where. I mean, I'm not blaming everything on Todibo because we had a bet on him, and he didn't even get booked. Rick.
No. We had a bet on him to score and all, didn't we?
Yeah.
But see,
he had a chance.
See how I say about Somerville? What end product has he delivered? People keep saying he's bright. He's bright. No goals, no assists, creates no chances. And you see how they say he's built like a 12-year-old? Did you see that bit where he had the ball on the left? He looked inside and he went on his left foot and ran into the box. Yeah, it was just before. What happened as a result was he was bodied off the ball by the defender, not a foul, just shoulder to shoulder, bodied off the ball. It rebounded to Antonio, who had a shot, and then the keeper saved it, and then Max Kilman got his feet in a muddle and couldn't. It was like right on the 6 yard, like 3 yards out, and Kilman couldn't get his feet right to have a shot. Do you remember that incident?
I didn't get to see the first 30 minutes. Missed the first 30.
No, right. So Somerville made like quite a direct run into the box. I forget what defender it would have been. Who would have been?
Conor Bradley.
Right side. No, you weren't your right back. It was your right side centre back.
Joe Gomez.
So that would have been Gomez. Gomez literally stepped across him like he was like a little girl and just shouldered him out the way, and he just went down on the touchline. It wasn't a foul. It was a legitimate tackle, but he's just got no upper body strength at all. He's built like a child. The ball rebounded. Antonio had a shot. The keeper patted it out at the feet of Kilman, and Kilman tried to get his feet right, and then what's he called? The left back. Shimika. That's what he was.
Tsimikas, yeah.
Shimikas. To be fair to him, he tried to block with a diving header and put his header in the way. He put his head in the way, and Kilman was like me going back to Villamandy when I hadn't played. Couldn't get my feet right. Like my brain wasn't quick enough. Do you know? My body wasn't quick enough to respond, and that's what he was like. And but that was a good chance. But it was just an example of how he got bodied off the ball. So yeah, when you look over at the transfer, go on. When you look over at the transfers, you look at how we're playing. You look at the lack of progression and the lack of style, and there's nothing. There's not even any good science to hold on to. So it's a worry. I think this is something we'll revisit. Go on, what was you going to say, bro? I
was going to say, like, we had an incident like that, right? So when I was younger, I was probably 18. I was quite big at the time anyway. And I was playing right back. I'll tell you what it was. I was playing under 18s league, so I'd have been 16 at the time. So everyone else was bigger than us, right? We were playing, and the right midfielder, basically, it's a similar incident, got bodied off the ball, but kid 2 years older than him. He's 18. He's fucking puberty's nearly finished. We're 16. Our manager at the time, not a particularly clever manager, but he understood certain parts of the game. And he basically said, listen, next time he steps across to do that, I want you to turn so you're facing him. Right? So you imagine, right, if I'm a defender and I got to shoulder barge you shoulder to shoulder, and you've clipped the ball and now you're facing me, your shoulder's now going in between my chest.
Yeah.
The referee's going to give a pen.
Yeah.
Literally second half, it felt, obviously I've heard the conversation. I've seen the guy. I reckon I could have took him the shoulder, but why? So all I've done, I've just twisted in front of him. He shoulder barged me right through the chest. It looks so dramatic because obviously I'm running that way. They're sort of just directed that way. He's coming straight across.
Yeah.
Straight penalty. And like, so why? Not being funny. Surely a professional footballer like that, reactions must be pretty fucking sharp. Yeah. Why are you not told to do that? If you know Joe Gomez, who is a big guy, wide guy, I don't think he's got the agility to stop. If he's coming to body you, just twist or twist back. So he goes right through the back of you. Give the referee that decision to make. Like that to me is, if you're going to be built small, why are you not using it your size to advantage? My brother used to do it all the time. So small, people would try and shoulder barge him, but he'd plant his foot and he'd sort of like roll them off him. As they're going across him, he'd spin round on and he'd go in the little gap because he was so small with a sense of gravity, similar to like what Aguero used to do. Like, so why are you not telling other people to do this? If you can't compete strength-wise, compete with your mind and your agility and your speed. And I think maybe this is something that some of the managers forget, or maybe it's the performance analysts need to look at this a bit more. Why are you giving people's general information? Why are you not giving specific instructions for people's play style? Surely they must. I mean, the commentators, Sufal whipped in across on Wednesday, and the commentator was like, oh, he's one of the best crosses for a right back. And I was like, no, he's not.
He's not.
So why are you saying that when clearly what he should be doing is using himself as a dummy run? If he gets to the byline, play it to someone who can whip a ball in. But then on the flip side of it, I suppose you're going to be dropping it back to Bowen, who's not going to want to whip a first-time ball with his right foot.
No.
So,
no, he cuts inside and plays like a left-footed one, sort of back post. It doesn't work. We spoke about it. And just the last thing on West Ham, I said to you the lineup would likely be Fabianski in goal.
Yeah.
I said Kufal right back. I was terrified of Cresswell left back, Tadebo and Kilman. I got that right. In the middle, Souček and Alvarez. Alvarez is out now. We've got painfully slow Rodriguez. So looking back at the transfers, we're still conceding ridiculous amount of goals. 8 goals this week in 2 games. Our midfield's fucked. We're creating no chances and we've got no centre forward. And yeah, it's the best fucking transfer window we've ever had, apparently. West Ham have won the transfer window. Loppy's under pressure. Moving on from that, another man that's under pressure. I know you want to say a little bit about who you mentioned earlier on, old Baldy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm allowed to abuse a Baldy being a Baldy, you know. But that Twente game, like, ridiculous. How are you drawing with Twente? Like, it's baffling. Baffling. At Old Trafford, like, 1-0 up, and then I know it was a silly Ericsson mistake, but they didn't look great at all, really, to be fair. I watched the highlights, and I read, when I was reading a bit of the review, it said, United had a couple of chances to win the game. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Like, they had ball fell to Bruno twice outside the box, and then they had one where a player came in late. I think it was Maguire had a header that was cleared. But then there was another incident. Who was it? I can't remember who it was. It was someone. The ball had come to the back post, and where you think, right, head this towards goal, he's trying to head it back across the goal for someone to run onto it. And I'm looking, thinking, that is just absolute shocking decision making.
That's a lack of confidence as well.
Yeah, because you don't want to take the shot on.
Oh, yeah.
But just take the shot on. I didn't understand it. And Bruno thrown himself about.
What's the worst that happens? A keeper parries it in the path for your teammate running in, or you get a corner.
Or, you know what? He could just loft over the keeper. You never know. Just put your head on it. Yeah. But, like, I think Ten Hag's massive under pressure. I mean, I think he's why he's not bought a striker baffles me. Xerxes not a striker.
Who's the other lad? Is it Holberg?
Højbjerg, yeah. He's injured.
Yeah. Is he really? I'll tell you, my granddad always used to say to me as a striker, centre forward, he used to make me follow in everything. Yeah. Not just my own shots, other people's shots. You never really see that anymore. That seems like a dying art, don't you think?
Well, actually, Liverpool's third goal, that was.
Yeah.
Salah. So, I mean, I know it wasn't following in from deep, but he played the pass into, I think it was Bradley. Bradley squared it for, I can't remember who had the shot. I'm going to say Gakpo had the shot. I think the keeper saved it, and he came straight out to Salah. Like, Salah made the run back into the box, and it was Crespo that was just sleeping. And then you could see Crespo realise, shit, he's gone. And then the ball fell to him and he scored. But, yeah, just little things like that. I just don't think you can't spend all that money on defenders, still concede shocking goals, but now not be a threat going forward unless it falls to Bruno. And then he kept playing Rashford when he wasn't playing well, and then Rashford scores 3 goals and he drops him. Like, I know it was only Barnsley, but he scores 3 in 2 games and you drop him. I mean, Garnacho was on fire, and then he's not playing. Like, it's just, I don't know, it just seemed a bit crazy. I don't understand his method. Like, and the fact that I was speaking to one of my friends about it yesterday. There's 6 ex-Ajax players at United now. That's crazy. Yeah. He's just building Ajax past the present. So you got Onana, Lopez, Mazraoui, Antony, Delict, and then obviously Ericsson used to play for him as well. So 5 of his signings. You can't have 4 years, that kind of money, have basically a team that you've now built, and you're still saying we need time. What do you mean you need time? You've had fucking 3 years. You've won a trophy, so something must be going right. Or is it just you're just lucky, just in the right place at the right time at the right spots? Like, it's just crazy. The whole Ten Hag thing.
How the mighty have fallen United. That's not United we grew up with, is it?
No.
It's crazy. So he's under pressure now. Loppy has got 3 games now against Brentford away, and then Ipswich, obviously newly promoted, and then the big one at Spurs. So you'd expect. I mean, this is the thing. There's not many. This is the first time in about 20 years we've got no academy players in the squad, like registered, which is unusual for the Academy of Football. We haven't got any sort of, even Rice understood the culture of the club when he was here. We've got no Mark Noble kind of character playing anymore. I'm not sure, this is not a race thing, but I'm not sure a lot of the foreign players really understand what a London derby means, especially the Spurs game. I feel like Lopetegui is going to have to get 4 points at least from Brentford and Ipswich. Where do you stand on Ten Hag? Do you know their fixtures? How much is the pressure on for him? Do you think he's got long left? Do you think they'll make a change and pull the trigger? I can't see them doing it. I don't think there's anyone they really fancy.
Well, there is talk that Solskjaer has threw his name into the hat to return.
Crazy. Which
would be absolutely crazy. Man United's next game is... When do they play? It is Tottenham on Sunday.
That's easy 3 points though for them, isn't it?
And then they've got, who will it be next? Saturday they have, no, they're playing Sunday again. You got Villa away.
That's tough for them. I'll tell you what I will say. Whilst we're talking about managers being under pressure, there's one more we haven't mentioned, and we haven't even mentioned him off camera. But you're talking about Tottenham there. There's another one. There's a lot of discontent in the ranks at the moment. And old Ange Postecoglou is looking like angry Ange. He's looking like a very aggravated man in the press. I've got a friend who's a journalist as well, who said that he's not particularly polite. And people see the clips of him calling everyone mate and being funny and whatever. He just seems really aggravated lately. Their own fans are now, they don't think he's super Ange and Ange anymore. They're getting frustrated with the lack of end product and results. They shouldn't be. They're Spurs, but they're getting aggravated with him. So you wonder now. There's a lot. If you had to put a bet on who's going to be the first manager to get sacked this year, who would you go for?
Unfortunately, I go for Lopetegui purely because he's got not. It might be harsh, but he's got a history of it. He got sacked from the Spanish national team before the Euros because of something he'd agreed. He got sacked from Real Madrid very early. Yeah. And that's two of his last three jobs. Like
walked away from Wolves, the last job. So I actually think Dyche will be the first one to go, and then I think Moyes will go over and take the Everton job back, which would do us a favour.
I don't think Dyche will go. I think Everton surely must realise until the takeover is done and they're safe for the season. I don't think they can do it. I don't think you can't get rid of Dyche, because if you're going to get rid of Dyche, right, in the position, bear in mind he kept you up with a -8 and you gave him no money and he kept you up comfortably. Like, considering where they were, kept you up comfortably. To sack him now, I know they've had a bad start, would be absolutely mind-boggling. Just because of what he got out of these players. Dwight McNeil, I know he's not the most fanciest name, but if you watch him play, he looks a player. He looks like he's got a bit of end product. He looked half decent at Burnley, but he looks a good player. Calvert-Lewin,
left-sider.
I mean, they've just made him sell his best midfielder, and you can see how good Onana is in a better team now. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's got an aging defence with Michael Keane, Chambers, Coleman, like Pickford's had a bad start. That's the dog.
Yeah, and the year before was Richarlison that get rid of because of financial fair play. The thing about it is, though, they're due to move into their new stadium next year. They're not going to want to have the most glitzy, glamorous, shiny stadium in the Championship. I think they're going to panic at some point if it stays like this, and they're going to need to keep them up. And who they're going to call on for that? This myth that David Moyes is the one to bring in and put out fires. It's a worry.
I think they'll keep him, and then when they're ready to move into the new stadium, that's when I think they'll get rid of him.
Maybe so. Let us know in the comments what you think about all matters football, Everton, Liverpool, Spurs, West Ham. Just going back slightly to last weekend, I wanted to talk about it. Did you see dirty Haaland? Did you see the Haaland? Yeah. There was two things I want to talk about, right? One was him grabbing the ball and throwing the ball at Gabriel on the back of his head and running away. And the second was at the final whistle when Arteta, don't get me wrong, I'm no Arteta fan. I think Arteta's a dickhead on the sideline. he's the kind, if he was your manager, you'd love him. Right? Yeah. Because he's like all into it and passion. Like we want to be our passion. And I don't like Loppy kicking things about. Whereas Arteta whinges about it. He is the managerial equivalent of Bruno Fernandes. He don't stop fucking moaning, whinging, right? He's walking out of his technical area all the time. Nothing he's ever done about it. He's encouraging his players to go down with no contact just so he can run the clock down and have they literally every 10 minutes have a whole team meeting, a team talk because someone's gone down with cramp. It's something he's coaching if you look at it, right? I don't like him at all. But the other incident was when he walked past him and Haaland packed him condescendingly and said, "Stay humble, stay humble." So did you see both of those incidents?
Yeah, I did.
What's your take?
The throwing the ball incident. Listen, if you're going to play the games where you're going to do little things off the ball and little dark arts and time wasting, you have to expect teams to give you something back. So it's not right, but you got to expect that. What is it? You threw the ball at you. Grow up. You're a fucking 6'3" centre back on about 80 grand a week. Deal with it. Do something on the pitch. Like go through the ball and go for a win. Or tell you what, you conceded a goal in the last minute from your constant defending and dark art and running down the clock and all that jazz. Yeah, you're going to get stuff like that. If you're going to play that game, it's like when people celebrate in front of you. You celebrate in front of me, all right? I'll go and celebrate. When we score, I'll go and celebrate in front of you.
Do you remember Van Persie celebrating in front of Keown? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They were like chest to chest. Do you not think it's bad sportsmanship? Do you not think it needs to be stamped out of the game?
It depends on if that's got to be stamped out, then so is everything else in regards to like bad sportsmanship. So time wasting. Football's an entertaining sport. That's not time wasting is not. And I said this when Allardyce used to do it, and all those teams used to take it into the corners. I hate that. I've come to football to watch and be entertained. Like, so that's not entertaining for me.
There was a stat last season that when they added up how long on a 90-minute match plus stoppage time, the ball was actually in play. Brentford were at the top of that league, like in terms of most wasted time, or the bottom of the league, if you want to look at it the other way, with 26 minutes per game average.
Really?
That's wild,
that's ridiculous.
Isn't it?
That's ridiculous.
Wild. That is wild.
Imagine paying that sort of money.
Yeah. And what about the thing at the end with Haaland and Arteta? What was your take on that?
Well, did you see what happened after that with Jesus?
No.
So you missed that bit. So after that happened, and he said, "Stay humble." Jesus said something to Haaland, and Haaland just looked at him like, "Who are you?
Oh, I did see that, and he just looked so tired. He looked like he was shooting himself, looking up at him.
Crazy. So, I mean, I can completely understand that. Like, you can't be talking stuff about players in that, and especially when you come through the ranks there as a coach. Like, have a bit of respect. Like, and saying stuff like, "Well, we are going to win the league. It's just a matter of time," but you're not. You said like Man City are on the decline. Like Liverpool ain't genuine threats. Like other teams couldn't put a decent run together. Like
West Ham ain't going to kick into gear soon. And win
the listen, like we'll wait till they hit the Spurs game. That's it. It's all going to fall into place.
Exactly. Talking about coming fixtures, we've got a few. Should we breeze through the weekend and what we think? Quick predictions and how we're feeling. I know your team have got Wolves, I think, away. We've got. Or you might be. I'm not sure. You've got Wolves.
No, I'm sure we're at Molineux. Yeah, we're at Molineux.
I think you're away to Molineux.
Bogey team for us.
We're away to Brentford. Are they a bogey team for you? They're not playing very well. They're not starting very well. They've fell apart a bit since they've had a mass exodus as well of the old Portuguese youngsters.
Yeah.
So, there's been a bit of a mass exodus in that point of view. So have you got the fixtures to whiz with us, and we'll give our quick take on each?
So 12:30 game is Newcastle versus Man City.
So you've got to imagine Man City would take 3 points from that one. What do you think?
Well, it depends on how important do you think Rodri is. Rodri's out for the season.
I think he is. I think he is mega important, but I would expect them to get Newcastle. There's a lot going on behind the scenes at Newcastle with how ownership. There's a power struggle going on there. Maybe we'll touch on that in more detail on another show. But there's, again, I can't understand how they're failing to get the best out of what's the big Swedish striker, Isak. Yeah, Isak. Yeah, I think he's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and I think,
good player.
I think if you put him in a Liverpool team or in an Arsenal team, obviously I don't include Man City because they got the big old troll. But yeah, if you put him in a team with the sort of service that they get, he is like the sort of number 9 that Arsenal are missing, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. He would do absolute bits for them.
Alexander,
absolute bits.
Yeah. So
because
he's always
you've got the issue that they've got at the minute is with Martinelli. Martinelli's been massively off form. So I think that's a huge issue.
Do you not think that Trossard was a strange signing? I thought
it was a good signing. I think they're using him wrong.
No, right. So let me rephrase it. I think he's a good player, and I agree they're using him wrong. It's just if you'd have asked me to write down 10 players for that position that Arsenal might go after, I never would have called that.
Well, what did they pay for him? 30 million? It's cheap when you consider. Like that's
it's not that glamorous. But do you think that's because they've got the likes of Martinelli and stuff? He's sort of second fiddle when he needs someone like. There was always this argument with Kane, like who's going to go to Spurs when Kane's there because they know they're not going to be the starting number 9.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a situation like that with Trossard?
Well, if I'm Trossard, I'm probably sitting there thinking I can take Havertz's spot. That's what I've been looking at.
But then they've used Havertz as like a false 9 more than they've used him as a cam as well. So that's another strange thing. I feel for Jesus. I feel for him because he can score goals. As
Yeah, he had a good pre-season.
From the right, he had a good pre-season. I don't know. They seem in a bit of a mud when it's not going to click. So yeah, I'd probably go for coming back to the fixture we were talking about. I'll probably go for a City win there. What do you reckon?
I would probably go for a 1-1.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah, I think it's one of them where they'll turn up. Arsenal, Leicester.
So you'd imagine an Arsenal win there. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd go 2-0, 3-0 Arsenal.
Yep.
Your team, Brentford versus West Ham.
I've got no confidence at the moment. The thing is, I saw Gonzo say on Hammer's chat earlier on, and Gio, he said it's one of them what he referenced. Shout out to Hammer's chat. If you're West Ham or even if you're not, go over and have a listen. They're really balanced in their reviews of other teams as well. He was saying it was like the Joshua fight. Everyone was an expert after the fight. If Joshua would have won, it would have been, oh yeah, of course he's won because he's in a good vein of form. He's got his mojo back. When he gets knocked out and put down 4 times, it's like, well, yeah, he's hardly fought anyone. He's fought Valley and he's fought Jermaine Franklin. And it's like, of course, this is one of them. I can see us getting absolutely spanked, and everyone will be like, well, it's because Lopetegui's clueless. The players haven't chilled. They look defensively terrible. Brentford are a good side. Like Thomas Franks can have his number tactically. Or I can see us spanking them and clicking into gear. It's all starting to come together now. The players are chilled. And I could also, and this is, I will make a prediction, I'm not saying anything, I could also see it being narrow either way, and I could also see it being a draw. So it is kind of one of them, I can see anything happening. That's not my prediction, I'm just caveating with, I can see anything happening. If you put me on the spot, I hate to pick against my team, so I'll say a draw, but I think we're going to lose 2 or 3-1, and I think Brian and Bournemouth's going to rip us a new arsehole.
So what you're basically saying is it could be 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, 2-3, 3-2, 3-1, 1-0.
It could be, and that's the context. But my prediction is that we will lose that game, and then we'll probably draw against Ipswich, and then the pressure will be on him even more. What do you think? I
think this could be a surprise here. I reckon it could be. I'm going to go with a 2-1 West Ham purely because without Alvarez and after the Chelsea game, I think he's got to realise if you've not got Alvarez in there, you've lost the bite and snap. So there's no point trying to hold the ball and defend. Maybe he'll have a go. And I think Brentford will score, and maybe it'll just have to have a go, and maybe it will just release a bit of pressure on people. And just, maybe I'm wishful thinking because it's your team and I'm hoping for the best, but I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, we've got no midfield. Have you seen much of Guido Rodriguez? He is painfully slow.
I've seen him when he played in Betis, and I didn't rate him then.
No, he's now in the Premier League, and I would beat him in a foot race.
There's a reason it was free.
That's what I'm saying. And this is another one. Apparently, the best transfer window ever. No. He's going to be our holding player. He's probably going to be Sochet next to him, who in the last game completed 1 pass in 90 minutes in the Chelsea game, in the last league game. The game before was 4 passes, 2 of them forward, 1 completed. Yeah, he's all right with crashing the box. Like another channel, like Nick from Claret and Booze calls him, he'd win the Ballon box. Like as far as making blocks in his own box or clearing headers or coming in late and box crashing. If there was a category, a Ballon d'Or category just for being in the box, like he'd win it. But he can't play football, and you need your midfielders to be good on the ball, and he's not.
Yeah.
Paqueta, you've seen, his head's totally gone.
Yeah.
There's the Iron Brew Iniesta, old Andy Irvine, that we bought from some obscure Austrian club that no one really knows what he's
He didn't look too bad when he came on, to be fair. He had a shot from distance, he caught well. He tried to knit a couple of passes together, but obviously it's difficult to judge because at the time, game was pretty much over. Liverpool were rampant. Curtis Jones had got into his stride. It was hard for him. And we went with 4 strikers.
Yeah, they're the only times he's come on is when the game's dead, to be fair. Soler looks shit at a minute. I think he might struggle for 6 months like Paqueta did. He looks too lumbering on the ball and he looks like a liability. He's nearly been sent off twice. Yeah. So we've got no midfield. Our defence, as you see at the minute, he's got Wan-Bissaka playing in some right wing back role where he's just leaving, he's vacating his position. Tadibo looks calamitous. Mavropanos looks calamitous. Kilman had a terrible game the other day and a terrible game against Chelsea. We spoke about on the Amos chat one that Emerson looked a bit of a liability. We've got no Alvarez. Guido Rodriguez, we're just through the midfield. Fulkrug is still out. Antonio don't look the same. Ings has tried up front on his own. He's no good. Jared Bowen's really off form. Kudus doesn't have a position anymore. Somerville's got no end product. So I'm expecting a loss from that one. What's the next? But other than that, it's all great. What's the next? This is what I mean. How's this the best transfer window ever? Look, who's the next fixture? Okay, who's the next one, bro?
Chelsea, Brighton.
So Brighton are in good form at the moment. And the thing is, they've got a new manager.
So are Chelsea.
Yeah, they are. Both of them with new managers. Where's all the talk of? Where's all their talk of? It takes time. Where's all their talk? New players, new manager. Holtz is.
I think I say Holtz are the Brighton manager. He's done a good job. Maresca, I still don't think he's done. To me, I don't know. Maybe it's just something with Maresca, and it's just you look at someone, you think something about you. And you know what it was actually? I think it's the whole Sterling situation. I just don't like how he's gone about that, and that's just maybe rubbed me the wrong way to put against it. But with the talent you've got at that Chelsea team, how are you getting it wrong? You can't physically get it wrong.
I agree, but there was avocado card. Otherwise, there was avocado card. Can you give him a bit of credit for coming in and making the tough decisions? Like he's come in, he's cleared out the players he didn't want, and he at least with him, you're seeing him implementing a style of play, and he's like, well, I'm not going to use Sterling. Get him out, get him off the wage list, get him out the door. At least, can you not even give him credit for that? At least.
No, because the way you do it, the way he's done it,
I agree with that point.
We know people from Tenerife that have got bars and can run the bar well, but we know how they've got the bars, and it's what I mean. There's when you look at things like that, no.
On that point, there's an entertainer here I won't name and a bar that I don't even know where it is, right? But did you see a certain entertainer who's known mainly as being a compere? Did you see his status last night saying that a manager in a bar, and I honestly don't know, I can't even tell you off camera, came and stopped him like not even 25 minutes into his show in a packed bar, all singing and clapping along, and just said he ain't working, tell him to do 2 more songs and stop. And he got no explanation, and it's made him feel shitty when he's been here 20 odd years. The crowd were disappointed that he was leaving. They offered him some insulting amount of money, which he didn't even bother taking. And now he feels like, I don't even know what I did wrong. The bar was full. People were clapping along, singing along, responding. Like that, no matter what the situation was or what their side of the story, that was handled badly, right? And that's a great example of it, because there's ways of handling things. I don't know if you saw that bloke's status.
No, but I'll have a look later. But no, that's just that to me goes to the point of. So imagine now, if you're an entertainer, why the hell would you go and work there?
No, it made him feel down in the dumps. And whoever the bar is, if they called me, I'd say no, thank you, because I don't want to be treated like that. You get dressed up, you warm up. You know what I mean? You're getting your head around the show, you're preparing, you turn up, you're 20 minutes in. You know what I mean? You're doing your best. The same show he does goes down a storm everywhere else. And they've made him feel like shit. Like, there's no need to treat people like that. So the same with management, the same with football. I'd fancy maybe a draw out of that, though. Chelsea, Brighton. They're both in good form. What do you reckon?
Brighton 2-1.
Yeah? Okay, what's the next one?
After that, we've got Everton Palace.
Palace win, I think. Yeah,
I'd say Palace 2-0, 3-0.
Yeah.
Or Everton go 2-0 up, Palace to win 4-2.
Yeah, that old Bournemouth thing, that's wild, isn't it? This is why I don't think they're going to put up with that for much longer with Dyche, but we'll see. Next one.
Well, I mean, with that though, can you not say, if that's me and I'm looking at that as my team, as my manager's tactics and setup has got to be to 2-0 up.
But you're missing the elephant in the room, though.
No, but then is that the lack of quality in players, or is it the manager? You're not changing the system.
Yeah, I don't watch enough of Everton to know, but it might be one of those watching Soufal get roasted for 90 minutes and not reacting situations again. I don't know.
Well, how I watched it was hold on. Wait. He's trying to chew the fucking floor. I would look at it more it was individual errors that caused the game to change. And Pickford, had a couple of those in the last 2 games. So maybe you can look at both. The manager's seen Pickford's having errors. Yes, he might be captain. Yes, he might be number one. Maybe he's taken out. Maybe not just not for the team, just for him as well. Yeah. So maybe. After that one, there's Nottingham Forest versus Fulham.
I think Forest are undefeated at home, at least.
I'm doing all right, aren't they?
Fulham are in a good vein of form.
That could be entertaining.
That could be a draw or where is it? Is it at Forest?
It's at Forest, yeah.
Yeah, I'd punt for a draw then. If that was a Craven Cottage, I'd probably maybe go for a 2-1 to Fulham. But I reckon a draw there, 1-1 or 2-1. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I could say 1-0. Could see a 1-0 there.
Yeah.
You've got Wolves versus Liverpool.
That's a Liverpool win. I don't think you're a bogey team. I think you got enough, especially under Slot and the momentum you got at the moment. And what we didn't mention in the previous ones was when I saw the build up with that Neil from the Anfield rap on the Hammers Chat channel, he said a story that he was pleased to hear that after you lost to Forest, you went and annihilated AC Milan, and he walked straight in the changing room and he said, that's made me even more angry because look what you can do. Yeah. And he made that as an example, so I quite like that. So I think you'll get past them. You confident with that one? Yeah.
I'd say I'd take a 4-1, but I reckon 3-1 would be happy enough.
Yep.
Yeah. Then Sunday you've got Ipswich versus Villa.
That's probably a Villa win. I know Ipswich have been resilient.
And it's Champions League week.
Yeah, Champions League week as well. I think Villa have got a good squad and they've got a good manager in and around.
Yeah, so, I'd say a 2-0 Villa.
Yeah. A battling 2-0 loss for Ipswich. Yeah. That sounds good, but you know what I mean. Yeah, a 1-0 all the way, then a Duran late goal again. Yeah, honestly. What a regret that is. And then United versus Spurs. 18-0 United, and it's like,
18-0 United, 18 own goals.
That's it, yeah. And the last one from Ange Postecoglou off his arse on the bench. They're both in a bit of a state at the minute, I think, to be honest with you. I'll be happy if neither of them won. So 1-0? Yeah, 1-0. Yeah,
1-0. And the last game of the weekend, we've got Bournemouth versus Southampton.
That'll be interesting, actually. Southampton newly promoted. I quite like how Bournemouth are playing. They had the better of us in the round before in the cup. So, again, I'd go for quite a tight game. Maybe a draw, maybe just Bournemouth nicking it. I'd go a routine Bournemouth 2-0. Southampton's insistence to play out on the back and Bournemouth's high press. I think they'll get caught. The players ain't good enough. No, I think they'll get caught. And he hasn't really caught fire yet, but I think you're going to see something from there. Ivan Nilsson, who they signed as well. Yeah. So I like him. So they're the fixtures. So another good episode. Let us know your score predictions in the comments below. We're just done over an hour. If you don't mind, I'm going to finish with a question for you. Right? I got a little bit of a little quiz question. So this is the sort of thing that you'll either know because you've heard it before or you don't. Right? So the question is this. Let me get my notes so that I can word it right. Okay, so there's like West Ham United, like Wolverhampton Wanderers, things like that. Like the names, like the second name in the club. How many of them do you think there are in the Football League currently? And how many do you think you can name? So we've got Wanderers. You've got United, City, like club names, like the second part of their name. Like United, City, Albion, Wanderers, to give you 4 or 5 off the bat there. What, in the football, the whole Football League? Yeah, in the Football League. See, I'd probably look at it the way around and try and work out the ones that don't have it, because it'd be less. So, right, but that's not my question, and that doesn't. I know, yeah. So if I went in the Premier League, you've got. So let's try and do them together without me looking at notes, and we'll count them off. Well, hold on. Let me give you a number, and then I'll try and count them off for you. So if I work this out, I'm going to work it out like a rough figure. So if I've got Liverpool, Everton, Arsenal, Chelsea, I like one. Brentford, no, like Southampton. So right, I've got 6. Say the 6th in the Premiership with just one name. So 20 in the Premiership, that's 14. If you average that out, I've been in the Premiership since 2016. Grow up. So 14 there. So I would probably take it. So there's 14 in there. There's more teams in the Championship than there is. It's 22. I would probably go 36, 42, 52. Different names. 60. Different. Different names. So. So I thought you meant in total like the ones with. So you've got Wolverhampton Wanderers. So you've got Wanderers. Hotspur. Orient. Or would you class Leighton Orient, or would you just be Leighton? Because there's no place called Leighton, is it? It's Leighton Orient. There's a place called Leighton. Yeah.
Okay,
Leighton. East London. Leighton.
So you got Orient, City,
Orient.
United. What do you class Waterlooville?
Don't know. Don't think so. Let me look on the list because I was about the list. Let me hang on.
Argyle.
Yeah. No Waterlooville.
That's 7. You got 7.
I mean, you're missing a couple of easy ones because you're thinking ahead. I mean, I'll give you Town.
Did you not say Town? Oh, I thought I said Town and United. So, Dun City.
Mm-hmm. Tougher than you think, get it on the spot.
Yeah, so what? So we think there's... I'm trying to think if there's anyone missed. I'm just going down the leagues.
So there's some that you'll kick yourself because I did when I was counting in bed. When I was counting in bed, I got to 12. I could think of 12. Right? There's actually 19.
Right. Okay.
Right? And I'll read them out and see what ones you to kick yourself just in the interest of time. Right. So. Right, they're in alphabetical order, so count these off as we go, and we'll see whether you got these or not. Albion.
Oh, yeah, should have got the Albion, yeah.
Westwood, Burton Albion, Brighton and Hove Albion, yeah? Alexandra, Prue Alexandra. Yeah?
Shit, sorry, Chibs.
Yeah. Is that DJ Chibs' team?
Yeah, it's Chibs' team.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's from Bournemouth, but he's a crew fan.
Oh, right.
Glory boy.
So I'd rather someone support someone like that than like these people that born in Leicester and support Liverpool for no reason. Argyle, so Plymouth.
Yeah,
Argyle.
got Argyle. Yeah.
Athletic, Charlton, Oldham. Yeah.
I thought of Athletic, but I couldn't. In my head, I was thinking Atletico, like for some reason.
Yeah. So City, you got County, Derby County. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really Notts County.
So Milton Keynes Dons, that's a bit of a curveball, but it's
obvious. They're not a club.
Forest, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Hotspur, you got Orient, you got North End, Preston.
I thought that was it. I thought that was the whole place, to be fair. But yeah, you're right, Preston.
Yeah. Rangers, so Queen's Park Rangers, for example. Rovers, Premier League winners, Blackburn.
Yeah, the B-Burns.
Stanley, Accrington.
Accrington? Who are they?
Exactly. What are you, Wall Street? Milk. Town, which I gave you. United, you got. There is a Premier League one we spoke about them in this episode. Just spoke about them the last game and who would come on later and score.
Villa?
Yeah.
Aston Villa's a place, isn't it?
No, I don't know, but Villa is a suffix.
Oh, right, yeah, right.
Wanderers, so we've spoken a lot about Bolton, Wickham, of course. Here's one that I kicked myself. I didn't get when I was thinking about this. Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah. Sheffield Wednesday. It seems obvious afterwards. And that's it. That's our 19. That's our 19 in alphabetical order.
Bloody fire.
Yeah, but what we'll do is, I'll tell you what, there's a couple more as well. Someone in the comments has written down, you've forgotten Palace, Crystal Palace, yeah. Which is the place, but if Villa is, then that is.
Yeah, it's Villa is, that is, yeah.
And Port Vale.
Oof.
So maybe
Chibi's enemy, that.
Poor Chibi. So there's maybe 21. I'll tell you what we should do. When we get a guest on, we should bring that up as a question and see how many they can name.
Yeah.
We'll see what springs to people's minds. But yeah, fun. I thought it was a bit of fun.
Well, no, I like it.
Hour and 10. Any other business? Anything else you want to talk about before we go?
Not really. I mean, we don't do Spanish football. We don't do Italian football. Champions League's coming up. We can get to the... Well, yeah, we're waiting on Marco, wherever you are. Marco. Yeah. I'll have a bit of that.
Have you seen Sam's roast potatoes? You ever seen their roast potatoes?
Excuse me.
They're like pork. No, not them ones. They're like pork. is crispy roast potatoes. I'm going to get a picture for you and send it to you. I'm going to send me a picture of her potatoes, of her shirt potatoes. Right, sorry, Marco. Get your ass on this podcast, mate. And maybe we'll dedicate an episode not to Sam's shirt potatoes, but we'll dedicate 60,000 subscribers.
That'll be it, yeah.
Maybe we'll do one on Spanish football and Italian football on our own, or Champions League. Perhaps we'll do a Champions League build-up review. I don't know. I don't care to watch a lot of football because I'm at work when the football's on. So we'll have a little see about it.
Can have a look at that. Why not?
Have a look at that. Right, listen, thanks for joining us. It's been another good episode. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, make your way over to YouTube because there's loads more videos on there because we've only got so much bandwidth a month to upload episodes. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe and get your ass over to Spotify, Alexa, Amazon Music, TuneIn Radio, and follow us there, leave us a review. It really helps. Got a lot of people to watch. A lot of people come up to me all the time and come up to Kanye. Oh, great episode that. Fucking hit subscribe then. Don't cost you anything. It takes 2 seconds. All you need is an email address. And the more you interact and comment and like and give us your opinions, and even if you say, well done, lads, or whatever, good episode, we don't mind liars, first of all. So that's fine with us.
True.
And second of all, it helps tell the YouTube algorithm to send us crazy to other people that like football. So it does help. So every little helps, as they say in Tesco. So come and support us.
Copyright.
So, listen, thanks for having us. I don't know when we'll be back next. We try not to leave it too long between episodes. Depends on our work schedules at the moment. Kanye's letting the side down with this 9-to-5 job business. I don't like all this, Kanye. We need to get our own bar so that we can have someone running it, pop it in the evening. You sort out the bar, I'll sort out the entertainment. And then, a couple of years we'll be doing this in the Caribbean island. What do you reckon?
All right, we'll do that.
Thanks again, everyone, from another episode of
Opinions from Offside.
We'll see you soon. Keep
Peace
moving.
out.